Just when we thought Tottenham was signing Eberechi Eze, I had personally lost all hopes on Eze and thought he was going to Spurs. And all of a sudden, we got a David Ornstein Bunba. And it appears that Eberechi Eze is heading over to Arsenal Football Club. Let's talk about it. If you're new around here, please hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way in supporting my channel grow. So let's talk about Eberechi Eze to Tottenham. Or no, to Arsenal. Just yesterday, after we got the breaking news in regards to Trossard, I was literally livid and I was saying, is this going to mean that we're not going to sign either a left winger, or does that actually mean we're not going to sign Eberechi Eze? I'm not going to lie, up until the weekend just gone, especially after Eze coming off the pitch and basically waving the Crystal Palace fans goodbye and clapping them away at the end of the game, I was reserved, or should I say, I had basically given up on Eberechi Eze coming to Arsenal. And I basically was saying it to a colleague of mine yesterday that Eberechi Eze is going to Spurs because he's a Spurs fan. I was like, listen, it's done. It's a done deal. He's going to Spurs. Arsenal are no longer in the equation until today. And this has come as a result of Havertz getting injured. So let's get how did this all start, first of all? So let's get this in like this sort of news. So it started off today. Arsenal had an open training session for the men's team at the Emirates today. Unfortunately, I was not able to get there, but I missed it. However, it was reported that Havertz was missing. Then the news came out that Kai Havertz was set for a spell on the sideline with knee injury. However, we don't know what the level of knee injury he has or how long he's going to be out for. There are speculations to suggest it could be an ACL, but nothing has been confirmed yet. As you can see here, it says Arsenal's forward Kai Havertz is set for a spell on the sideline with a knee injury. This 26-year-old Germany international was not part of an open training session at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday morning. Assessments are at early stage, so no prognosis or duration on any layoff unclear. So that was basically what obviously came out earlier today. And everybody was like, oh my God. So that basically means we now need to go out and basically sign a player, whether it's a Rodrigo, whether it's somewhere else. Nobody was no longer talking about Eberechi Eze in the Arsenal fan base, even though we would have preferred him over to Rodrigo. And then all of a sudden, what did we get? We got a David Ornstein Bunba, as we call it, this transfer window, saying, exclusive, Arsenal make move for Eberechi Eze plus the 27-year-old wants them. Tottenham line up a deal with Crystal Palace today and the player, but Havertz injury, Arsenal now closing in on the England international. If he proceeds with choice, Tottenham Hotspur will pursue other targets. Like I said at the start of the show, I had given up on signing Eberechi Eze because I thought to myself, he's going to Spurs. There is no way Arsenal are signing Eberechi Eze. I've been saying it. I was so angry and I was like, how can we so easily give up on Eberechi Eze? This is the best opportunity to get this player in and we're just basically going to let Spurs, them lot down the road, just get him basically for free. I could not believe what I was hearing or reading. Even up until this morning, Sky Sports had a friend of mine, a Crystal Palace fan, on their channel, basically talking about Eberechi Eze going to Spurs and what kind of player they should be expecting. And then all of a sudden, we get this, And then obviously, when you go to the Athletics website, then you get this. Obviously, we get a further sort of story in regards to how this has come about. Arsenal have made their move for Eberechi Eze and the player wants to join them from Crystal Palace. Talks over the international England international between Palace chairman Steve Parish and counterpart Daniel Levy had taken place over recent days, but Arsenal's interest has remained with negotiation now underway between the clubs following a knee injury to Kai Havertz. Goes on to say, Spurs had the condition of a deal agreed with Palace today and the player, but are ready to move on to alternative if Eberechi Eze chooses Arsenal, which seems to be the case, and I'll show you that in a minute. Palace would not finalize a deal because they want the 27-year-old available for the Thursday playoff for the Conference League in their match. However, Arsenal have indicated a willingness to meet the condition and he wants to join them, leaving Spurs with little option but to look elsewhere. And obviously, it goes on to say other stuff. When I tell you, I'm so excited and so happy that this is happening. And furthermore, Sammy Mockbell of the BBC went on to say almost 10 minutes ago before I started recording this video. He basically said 58 minutes ago initially, Arsenal closing in on a move for Eberechi Eze. Palace forward prefers Arsenal move. Sources indicate the deal to be around £60 million. Then he went on to say, this deal is moving quickly. Expect Eberechi Eze to be an Arsenal player. Agreement in principle is already in place. When I tell you, this is probably the best day, honestly, that I've had. I'm not going to lie to you. I went to get the Arsenal third kit a couple of weeks ago before I went on holiday, right? And something in my mind kept saying, get Eberechi Eze on the back of it. And I thought, you know what? You're moving a little bit too quickly. Now I wish I did. And it's looking like I may have to go back and get a refund and get Eberechi Eze number 10 on the back of that shirt. But the question is, what is happening with Kai Havertz? How long is he going to be out for? Listen, if Kai Havertz didn't get injured, there's a likelihood that this deal would not have been going ahead. Let's be honest about it. Because the only reason why Arsenal have literally accelerated this deal is because Kai Havertz got a knee injury and Arsenal need to find a replacement as soon as possible. And also, somebody, and I was one of my guys that I do follow online, Purple Panel, and he just basically went on to say that Spurs and Crystal Palace were nearing an agreement for Eberechi Eze today. Then Andre Berta knocked on the door. You know, there's a saying, when Arsenal comes knocking, their player always wants to come. And if we get this deal over the line, which is looking very, very high likely that Eberechi Eze is going to become an Arsenal player, if not by the end of this week, then it's basically potentially bringing this transfer window to like a 10 out of 10. Because when you think about the transfers that we've made so far this season, part one, a lot of them has been either replacements for who has left or just basically a backup. Let's look at it. Kepa, a backup for David Raya. Mosquera, a backup for Saliba or Gabriel Magalhaes, because Kivior might be leaving. And then you move into the midfield. You've got Norgard is basically replacing Jorginho. You've got Zubimendi replacing Thomas Partey. Madueke replacing Raheem Sterling, in my opinion. And then the only one that we signed that you thought that's not replacing anyone that we've needed for the last 2 to 3 seasons was Gyökeres. Gyökeres comes in as his own entity, as a striker that Arsenal have needed for the last 2 to 3 years. So if we manage to get this over the line, honestly speaking, I am so ecstatic. I'm so happy. This is the deal and this is the player I've wanted for a long time. And it looks like Arsenal are about to make this happen. And I'm happy we are not allowing him to go to those people down the road. And I am so happy. A lot of them are going to be pissed tonight because Eberechi is going to be an Arsenal player. Let me know what you guys think about this deal. Are you happy with this deal, or would you rather another player come in? And how do you feel in regards to Kai Havertz getting injured? I would love to hear from you guys. And most importantly, if you're enjoying this kind of video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It goes a long way in helping out my channel. Eberechi to Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. I'll speak to you guys on the next one. Take care.